Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
Now the next calculated fill we have is this is important calculated fill now. The next function which we are going to discuss is lookup related value. Now let's say there are some obviously in a report the primary business object. Everywhere there will be primary business object and related business object. Let's say you get in a situation where you need to get data of related business object on primary business object. Data from related business object on primary business object. Here you are going to use LRV. For example, if I open one report here, for example, let's say this is one of the worker and I want manager side workers, manager side. There are two ways we can do. One is here, I just mentioned manager level. This is a related business object to this worker. I mean this business object is showing the details of the manager for the workers which we will get via this business object. Here, if you want to get the manager side, there is one thing you can just go. You can just add manager level 1 as a business object and you will be able to get the hired. This is one way of getting hired of your manager on this report. Now let's say there are situations where you cannot add this manager level 0, 1 business object. Instead you need to get this hired. It manages, hired it on worker business object only. Here if I run. As I have added related business object, I have to add group column heading as well. That's the error. When you will get any kind of errors when you are configuring any reports or anything, just click on the errors. You will get enough information in those errors. Now if I run this report, here we know this is manager side. This hired, it is manager side. For Steve, I think there is no manager. Let me see. You can also debug. See when you run the report and whenever you see like there is something missing in this report, for example, the first worker, Steve, for Steve manager side, it is not coming. We'll see why it's not coming. You can simply open a new tab, open that employee details. These are the things you know you will get when you will be working as an operational analyst in Workday. You can just debug by opening that employees. Let me open that employee 1002. See more. See more than he is the CEO of the company. CEO can't have any managers, right? I mean, it's a top level organization. This is already top. That's why we know you are not able to see hired it. But apart from that, apart from him, each and every worker is having managers hired. Now here in this report, I have extracted managers hired from a manager level 1 business object which is related to worker primary business object. Now I want to print this managers hired on worker business object. For that one, we are going to create lookup related value. In lookup related value, we can get related business object details on primary business object. Here, let us see how that happens. Let's start creating a calculated field. Manager. Lookup related value on work. The business object on which you want to create the field. Worker business object, and here you can mention lookup a related value. Yes, lookup. The lookup is managed. Level 1, the business object field name which you are using. You can use the same way to look up. Manage the level 1 by default. It will populate related business. But that manager level 1 is also on, a business object itself. I mean, that's a related business object. And here you can just mention, this is the business object. And from this, this is a field. And from this you need to extract the hired. What you can do is here, you can just mention hired. We'll give you another example as well, because here you can see, this is the business object is same. That's fine. I'll give you another example. Now you will be able to use this calculated field to get managers hired it on worker business objects. If I read this report, worker business object, and here just is the calculated field name. Managers, I did a lobby on worker, and here. And this is normal managers. Now I run this report. Yes, see, the date is same, right? This is the field from the manager level, one business object. And this is the field from worker business object. What I have done is I have extracted. Manage the level 01 business object, details on worker business object. It's a kind of the details of related business object on primary business object. There we will be using, a lobby. Another example you can think of as if you want to get dependence age on worker business object. There, you will be able to do that via. Let me now copy this calculated field. See if dependence is a lobby on. There is no. Yes, here you need to pick one thing. Basically in lookup you can use. The thing in central dependent is a multi-essential, dependent is a multi-essential. In the report is a multi-essential. For that one, what you have to do is you need to create a single instance, which we are going to discuss in after some time today. Once you create a single instance, you will be able to use that in a lobby. Here, if you see this dependent is a multi-instance field. This is a multi-instance related business of one worker is having multiple dependents. You won't be able to use directly in a lobby, but if you create a single instance of a field for this related business object dependence, you will be able to use in a lobby. That's what I'm going to discuss after some time. I'll create that in 7, that calculated when I'll create extracting the instance. But at a high level, you understood, right? What is the lookup related value? If you need to get the related business object details on primary business, you will be able to use the lookup related value functions. Any question from anyone? I have a question, Ganesh. Like lookup related value that are directly, we can use both the way to face the value, get the value right. Which is the best way to do in the project. See wherever you can use the here, this calculated field. This is something calculate your values during runtime. This is going to consume some, efficiency of worker. Sorry about that. Here, if you can extract details directly from related business object, this method would be advisable. You use the related business object details here and then you add the field. But in report, if you will try see, you can type into this one level. If you try to get details one more level down, you won't be able to do that. There is you want to be able to use related business object. And see you need to create a lookup related value. What I'm trying to say is, for example, here the managers. Now if you try to get managers dependent details, there is one worker, that worker is having one manager. Let's see this one. It's a hierarchy. Worker is having manager. Manage the X. Here, if this worker is a primary business object, but this manager is a related business object. Now the next level, this is one level down. You are using worker as a primary business object and you are trying to get manager's details. This is one level down. You are just going one level down. Now let's go another level down. You want manager's dependent details. Here, in this case, if you want to get manager's dependent details on worker business object, you will not be able to achieve via this way. This way, you will not be able to achieve. You need to create a lookup related value on manager. Manage the level 1 business object. Then you can use manager as a business object here and you will be able to fetch that field. Wherever possible, you can extract the field from a related business object directly. That would be the recommended way. But let's say if you are not able to, just call the related business object and get the fields just, create calculated because you don't have any choice. But it's good, right? If it's a hierarchy, then it's good to go for calculated field values. No, see everywhere? See here in this report. Basically, I am able to fit this manager level 1. Now, let's say you are building some condition. Do you learn some business process? There you will not be able to call related business object there. You have option to call business object. But when you will be configuring condition, you will be able to put only conditions based on primary business object. There you will need this calculated field. This details on primary business object only. Here in the report, it looks like we have both the ways, but there you have only one way. That is to create a calculated field. But whenever you work on any report and there, if it is possible to get data directly from related business object, don't create any calculated field. Just simply, call that related business object and get the details. Any other question? All good. You know this lookup, a lookup related value is. It's all good. Now let me see what else. Yes, here the condition is only. Yes, the condition would be there are multiple. Instant cannot be used in. A lot. Multiple instance fails. Instant. Fields are required. On primary business object. Great. First right. ESI means exact single instance field. This will be the clause. And what is SI? That is our next topic. Now into related business object. These are the employees, even a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. And now these are the dependents. This is the employee. And these are dependents. This is employee. And these are dependents for employee 1. There are 3 dependents. They want a 2 day 3. There are 2 dependents. Even day 2 and the 3. Even day 2 days. We did for the 4 dependents. Now the requirement is from this related business, from this multi-instance related business object, I don't want each and every details. I just want this post details. Or I just want younger child. It is all this time. From this related business, Basically, I just want details of one particular instance. See, this is employed. This is a primary business object. And this is a related business object, where there are 3 instances for one primary business object. In these 3 instances, let's say if I want to extract details of one business object, just one. Sorry if we want to get the details of just one instance. How are you going to decide? How are you going to build the logic where you don't get everything from dependents? Instead, you will get just one instance based on some conditions. In these kind of cases, for example, here there are 2 child, son and daughter. I want youngest child. The requirement is to get the youngest child. For all the dependents we want, we have to extract the youngest child. Here, in this case, we are going to create single instance field. This is just an example, but at a high level, you simply understand in this way if there is primary business object and there is another business object related business object, which is a multi-instance which is holding multiple values. If you need to get only one instance of related business object on primary business object, then you will create extract single instance. Then you will create calculated function using extract single instance. How exactly we can create that calculated? Let's discuss that. Create calculated field. CF on worker business object. Here mention the worker business object. Worker business object. Now for extract single instance. When you create calculated field, then you will be able to see multiple options. First of all, in a source field, the source field is dependent. We know we are trying to get details of the dependents. What we will do here is, we will just mention dependent as a source field. We are getting dependent. We know we are trying to get dependent details on worker business. See here, we have got dependents. The source field is dependent in this case. Related business object, automatically it will be populated. Now condition. The condition what I mentioned. Here in this case we have yes in this case. See for each and every employees, there are multiple dependents. And in all those dependents there is one spouse and others are child. Basically now in this report, this particular employee, I have to extract the child. It is who is the youngest. For this is 3. I have to extract the child. It is who is the youngest. What I do is, here I'll create a condition first. First of all, the relationship should be child. I don't want to pause here. Here, in this case, the first ever filter would be the spouse. I don't want spouse. I just want children's. What we are going to do is here, we will create another calculated field, which we will create from here only. See here, when you create, when you click on this, you will see one option to create a calculated field. We will create a calculated field here. The true false condition calculated field. Relationship. On dependent, just mentioning. Batch 2 for this representation. Then here the relationship we need to define on related business object. Here we are going to use dependent as a business object. And the function is true. Click. Here we will define the relationship, the relationship. The relationship. In the selection list, comparison by default will appear. And then here we will mention only child. There will be a lot of relationship. You will see. Here we want child, the relationship as child. We don't want any other relationship. Just a child. Click. And your condition is paid. Basically, this condition will check when calculated field will extract dependent details. This condition will make sure none of the dependents who is not satisfying this condition will be picked by this calculated. Here, in this case, when I build the condition, what it will do is it will just filter out this cause. In this calculated field, processing will only happen on these two, for this one on these three. This is false. It is a directly filter. This condition I build. Now the condition has been built here. Now sort will, I said the youngest. Youngest, small. What I'll do is here, I'll just filter where sort will age. We have one field is independent business object. We will fill up a little sort based on is. Now you have sorted. Based on is what it will do is. Here let's say we know son and outer. This son and daughter. This is sorted based on is. Here we know this is sorted based on is. First, the condition is removing this one from the related business object in census. Then sorting is something less. We have multiple record in this related business object which is satisfying the condition. This sorting is actually doing the sorting based on the fields which you have mentioned. Here I have mentioned is. These two are this column is for is. What it will do is it will sort out all the instances of related business object based on is. All the instances are sorted based on is. You will be able to define whether you want the first one or you want the last one. Here I am saying ascending. Ascending means the children whose age is lowest. That will come first. Let's say you know there are 2 child in this particular example. Let's say you know there are 3 child. One is 2 by day. This is already arranged in ascending order, whereas this one is not arranged in ascending order. This calculated will rearrange this resource in ascending order. And then what it will do is, you sort it based on, you know the order in which you want. Now you just tell this calculated will, which in sense is you want to return whether you want the first occurrence or you want the last occurrence or you want any specific occurrence. For example, in this case, this is sorted. This is sorted based on is now the first occurrence with this one. This is the first occurrence. This is the second occurrence. And this is the third occurrence. Or you can say last. This is the first. And this is the last occurrence. In between, there could be here that there are just 3 instances. It could be, if this employee is having one more son or daughter, then you know there will be 2 instances between first and last. Now you can guide. You know this calculated will function, like which one this function has to pick. Here, as we need the youngest child, basically we are going to pick this one, the first. Here you can just select the first occurrence by default selected. If you want to change, you can just click on that and you will be able to change the occurrence. Here the first occurrence we want in the file. Now you just click on. Your ESI field has been created. Now if you pull, details from this ESI business object or the field. This will work as a business object as well as field. Let me show you how exactly this works. Now, if I want to extract the youngest child details on the worker business object in custom report, I will simply use this calculated field. On worker business object can get the details. Let me show you how. The single instance field which we have created. You are able to get this is a single instance. Now you can use. This is a single instance field. This will also work as a single instance related business object. For example, here, when you had to get the hire, hire date from manager business object. You simply added that manager level at level 1 as a business object and you directly use field. The similar thing we will be able to do here. This will return the single instance, the whole instance group. You will be able to click and deep dive. But let's say you want to get the name. You want to get the age of that youngest child. You can create another LRB on this one. Using this one, or you can simply just use this as a related business object. You will be able to use this as a related business object as well. And then I'm just mentioning is. This will give the youngest child is in this report. Now, as I have added this as a related business object, I need to add that as a group column getting as well. Yes. I'm adding everything at the same time because the tenant is very slow. Right. It will take unnecessary time. Now let's run this and show. See this single instance? This is basically the youngest child of this worker. If you open this worker's dependent, then you will see this is the youngest child. Let me open this employee again. Dependent. ISC. In beneficiary, if you see there are 3 beneficiaries in a steam organ is added. One is false and other 2 are children. If we compare the ease, you can just open this beneficiary. And here is 33 years. Now let us open another child. Let's see what the ease of another child. Yes, here if you see 34 years, we know what we have done is we extracted the youngest child. See, in these 3 dependent details, I had to extract the youngest child and I just extracted the youngest child via eSci. Extract single instance field. Here you can see that instance. You can deep type. This is a instance you will be able to deep dive into by clicking on this one as well. And here, if you notice this, really this is the youngest child age. This is the youngest child is which I have extracted from this single instance. That's how we know this in secret, exact single instance field. But now do you have any question or any kind of confusion with this exact single instance field? Ganesh, if the 2 kids, if they are like twins, same age, there is no difference. Will it return 2 kids value or how will it? No, it won't return 2 kids value at any time. It will just pick random. See, let's say if you are building one condition and in that condition, if anyone, if multiple peoples are coming, multiple people is coming, there it will just pick random. Or you need to, sort based on, not on age. Basically in this particular case, the age is same, right? There, what you need to do is in sorting field, you need to put something is, for example, the first name. Sort based on the first name or last name in alphabetical order. That's how you have to generally, anywhere when you give any exams or anything, if your marks and everything is same. Then they used to sort they used to provide your rank either on based on your, the name's alphabetical order or based on the time. When exactly who has finished the exam. I mean, if someone is very exam, I'm getting the same number. He will secure the rank first. That's how it happens. The main purpose of this field is to generate just one value. Now how exactly you're designing? That's your follow? You're clear, right? You know what exactly this field is doing. Anybody, any other question? You can explore this calculated field by selecting a minute in the grants or second occurrence or start occurrence. You can explore. You can just try some different assigned by different scenarios where you just try to extract some values from the business object. There, you define your own criteria and then you try to extract the number of occurrences. And I just use first occurrence last. but you can use it as well. You can try that at home. If you face any issues just let me know. But this is what this extract single instance filters. Now if you want similarly for managers I created a lobby. Here also, if I don't want to use this related business object as a business object in custom report and I want this detail on worker business object, I will be able to do that via lobby lookup related value. Because now this has become a related business object on worker business object. If you want to get the details from related business object on primary business object, you will be able to use a lobby lookup related value. We have covered this extract single instance. Now the next is extract multi-instance. Extract single instance. Now the next is extract multi-instance. Now in this particular example in actual shade, here what we have to do is, in the exact single instance what we did in all the related business object instances, I just pulled one. Now let's say if you want to pull multiple child, if you want to pull all the child, if you want to pull all the child in these three instances, you need to pull multiple instances for this particular example. You need to pull the son and daughter details for this particular example. Also, you need to pull son and daughter details. There are three son. Sorry, there are two son, one daughter, three child details. Earlier we were extracting just one. Now we have to extract. We have to just leave space. We don't need space, but we need to extract all the child details. Now, in this case, we are going to create extract multi-instance. Let's see how can we create multi-instance field. Create. They'll field. She. Child. It's like multi-instance on a business. You need to use the business object. Then the function is extract my instance. This is extract multi-instance. Here here also you will see the source will related business object condition. That current is not here because we are not trying to get just one value. We are just trying to get the multiple values. Here, if you see, there is the first field which you will see is operation type. This will offer multiple operation types. For example, here you will see subset, except intersection union. What are these things are? Let me create. First of all, let's understand subset. Let's say you have a few things from you. Know this whole data. Basically, let's say there are 4 dependent. This biggest circle is representing for dependents, and you don't want for dependent. You just need two dependents. For example, you are just looking for this much of value from this. From this in a box you can say anything. Basically, you are trying to get a subset of this business object. Then you will be using the subset function. Subset function. In our case, we are going to use subset function. The reason is here we have, all these dependent instances in which we don't need all the instances. We just need the instances where the relationship is child. We are trying to get the subset of the larger object. This is one function, subset function. Then we will be having intersection function. Intersection function means when you will choose intersection function means you can write multiple conditions. Whoever will satisfy multiple conditions, then we know those will be picked up. For example, the first condition is saying the employee belongs to US. The first condition is saying employee belongs to US. And the second condition is the employee should be employee is hired. It should be after 2024 first and 2024. Basically, there are two conditions you need to define here. The employee must belongs to USA, and then employee must be hired in 2024. Here you can build multiple conditions. You can build two conditions. Whoever employees satisfy both the condition, that will be picked up. It will be like this one. This is condition 1, this is condition 2, and this the area in between this one. This one. You are trying to get this one. This is condition 1. This is condition 1. This is condition 2. Whoever is satisfying both the condition. You just want that details. Here, this, the common portion where we know both the condition are satisfied. That will be picked up if you use intersection operation type. Now the next is except. Here you just remember there are 4 operations type. If I mention here, operation, extract multi-instance which is subset. Then you have intersection. Then you have except. And then you have union. Subset and intersection we discuss. Now let us discuss except in except what happens. Basically, there are two conditions. You want to satisfy one condition. Basically, you know what you want, something like this. Employees should belong to USA. The location of employees should be USA, but the hire, it should not be greater than 2024. You have two conditions. The one condition is employee belongs to USA. The second condition is employees should the employees hired. It should not be 2024. In this case, basically you are going to use the except. In this case, basically, this is the condition where it is saying employee. This condition is saying employee who belongs to USA. And this bigger circle, You know this condition is saying the employee whose hire date is greater than 1/1/2024. In this particular case, if someone belongs to USA but the hire that is not greater than 1/1/2024, then you don't need that one. Basically, I'm just excluding that by this green thing. Here, in this particular case, you just need, this value, the gray one. Only one condition should satisfy. The other condition should not satisfy. You need to write both the condition, the one condition which should satisfy, the other condition which should not satisfy. That's how you know you are going to filter out. In those particular case, you are going to use except. Now the next condition is union. The next operation is union. Union says if there are two conditions, if this is C1, if this is C2, if any of the conditions satisfied, then just pick the data. If any condition satisfies this, pick the data. For example, employee, we want to get the details in a report, something like this. The employee belongs to USA or the employee's hire date is greater than 1/1/2024. Either employee belongs to USA or employee's hire date is greater than 1/1/2024. In this particular case, you're going to use union. Let me just say, all right, the example. Location. For example is Australia. And then employees. Hire date may be no greater than 1/2024 or less than this is a scenario we have, or less than 01/01/2024. In subset, what will happen is, if you just want, basically you have employees from multiple location. If you let's say you want from location, only one location. Here, what you are doing is you have employees in 3 locations: USA, Australia, India. But you don't want Australia and there you just want USA. You just need a subset. In all these 3 countries, you're just pulling details of only one country, that is USA. Here, this is a subset now. Intersection means. Location equal to say hire date greater than equal to 01/01/2024. If both the conditions are satisfied, then you will go for intersection operation. This is one of the example. Now except you want all the employees whose location is USA. Hire date should not greater than equal to 01/01/2024. In this particular case, if someone belongs to USSA whose hire date is greater than 1/1/2024, that will also be excluded. If employee belongs to USA but hire date is greater than 1/1/2024, then that will also be excluded. This will only include employee who belongs to USA and hire date is not greater than 1/1/2024. And then union is belongs to USA. the hire date is greater than equal to 0, 1, 0, 2024. Here, in this particular case, let's say there is employee I in the 1 whose hire date is 0203 2024, whose hire date is 0 to 2024. Here, in this particular case, employee does not belongs to USA, employee belongs to India. Employee belongs to India, but the hire date is greater than 1/1/2024. This will be picked up. Another example is employee location is USA. Employee, let's say for example USA 1, and the hire date is, let's say 08/06/2023. This is less than. Although this condition is not getting satisfied, but this condition is getting satisfied. This will be picked as well. Now, are you clear with this operation types, subset, intercept, intersection, except union, or any confusion you are having? Lakshmi Shalini Darna, any question on this operation? No, I'm good. You know this operation type. This is how it works now. Like extract single instance, you will be creating field for my instance of this. Let's say we try to create, except you know where we need our example. Basically, in this example, if we want to get all the details of the child, all the instances of the child, let's see how can we get that. Here you just use the subset. In subset, the source field is again dependent. And the condition not is true. The condition is relationship should be child. I already created that condition before I can use that condition. CF relation child. I think I created one on. Let me create another condition. CF relationship is child on dependent. Let's say mention batch 2. This is on dependent business object. And the function is true false. Click. Here relationship. Relationship operator in the selection list. In the selection list. And here again just choose the relation whichever. The relations it is child, click. Now this will pull all the dependent details in the host relationship is child. Now let me show you how it looks like. Where is my report? Edit custom report. Get this one. Let me add this on worker business object. The third will I have added, the EMI field. Click. See here, this Steve is having 2 child. See, both the child are coming in this extract, multi-instance field. Both the child are coming. Whoever is having 3 child, 3 child are coming. This is how we will get data in extract multi-instance field. Sorry, clear now how exactly this EMI work? Ganesh? Now we know this. Let me open this report first. Basically, in a lobby lookup related value, whatever you create extract single instance field. You will be able to use that field. But if you create, this multi-instance field, you won't be able to use that. Now if you need to extract, for example, there are multiple child details, right? There are multiple instances we have extracted. Now, if you want to get the names, age of all those child in a separate column. What you can do is you can just use this field as a business object. Use this field as a business object and you can get that. The fields, whatever you want to see in the report. For example, here in the dependent, in dependence, if you see, you can just add EMI field like this as a business object. And you will be able to pull legal name, first name, last name, religion, date of birth, whatever you want. But you will not be able to create lookup related value. That's the only case. You got it right. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.